Good evening and welcome to Sunset News on this Wednesday evening. As always, we bring you news, community stories, economics, weather, and sports. I'm Aina Kweo. In the news tonight, SWAPO veteran Helmut Angola says the ruling party must hold an extraordinary Congress within the time prescribed by its constitution in order to fill the party president position, which became vacant last month following the death of President Hage Geingob. He pointed to a provision in the party constitution which requires that in circumstances such as the death of the party leader, an extraordinary Congress must be called to find a replacement. The right thing to do is that an extraordinary Congress must happen, Angola said. Media reports allege that the Politburo meeting held last week resolved to suggest to the Central Committee this weekend that the extraordinary Congress be pushed to 2025, which is contrary to the 90-day constitutional provision. The idea to push it to 2025, according to SWAPO sources, is to ensure that Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah's candidacy for the national presidential election is unhindered and that intra-party unity is maintained. Nandi-Ndaitwah became the party's candidate after retaining the position of vice president at the 2022 elective Congress. Geingob's death on the 4th of February means the party must start the process of identifying its candidate, for which Nandi-Ndaitwah is an overwhelming favorite. With no challenges anticipated for the position of party president, constitutionalists believe Nandi-Ndaitwah can be elevated to that position legitimately without seeking shortcuts that would violate the constitution. All positions in SWAPO structure are elective, but they can also be attained by acclamation if there are no challenges to a candidate that is standing for a position. Angola said anyone who seeks to fill the position of president can be nominated at Central Committee and voted for at Congress. In the absence of challenges, the nominee can ascend to a position automatically. The latter scenario is anticipated in favor of Nandi-Ndaitwah. Angola added that if Nandi-Ndaitwah wants to contest for the party's presidency position, she must first resign as the vice president and avail herself as a candidate for the position at the extraordinary Congress. Moving over to our next story, the Namibia Revenue Agency, NAMRA, has refunded 100.9 million Namibian dollars in taxes since it embarked on its mass tax refund exercise in December last year. Out of the 78,441 tax returns processed, 46,941 refunds were paid to 46,772 individual salary earners and pensioners, NAMRA said in a statement. A total of 31,500 refunds totaling 56.9 million Namibian dollars were rejected for various reasons, including outstanding returns, unpaid liabilities, and the absence of bank numbers, among others. NAMRA appreciates the cooperation received from taxpayers during the exercise and remains committed to minimizing delays in the refund process. We therefore urge taxpayers to proactively address the identified shortcomings to avoid rejections going forward and ensure swift release of their refund, the agency said. Moving over to our next story. A mother of a married pastor who was arrested yesterday at Oneuptwo village in the Omsati region for alleged rape says her son had consensual sex with his accusers, including Elena, who offered sex in return for money to buy meat. The 34-year-old pastor, who is the founder of the church called Have Mercy Mission Ministry in that village, was arrested in full view of Namibia Namibian son yesterday on allegations that he raped 3 of his congregants aged 17, 19 and 24. All of them are learners at a local school, with one in grade 10 and the 2 others in grade 11. The rapes allegedly happened on the 9th, 16th and the 24th of February. Umsati Police Regional Commander Commissioner Ismail Basson confirmed the arrest. She wasn't screaming. On Monday, Basson said the pastor had yet to be arrested because he was on the run, but the Namibian son visited the village yesterday. The preacher was there. He denied ever fleeing, saying he committed no crime to make him do such a thing. His mother, Vinia Paulus, led this publication to her son, who was at the church in the next village. According to her, on the 9th of February, there was a church get-together event which the local youth attended. She said the 24-year-old victim also attended the function. Afterwards, she reportedly went to the pastor's house at 9 p.m. She called him and asked for money to buy meat. They had sex and she left. The next day, the mother came to tell me the story that the woman was raped, Paulus said. We don't believe her because she locked herself in the bedroom with the pastor to have sex. She was not screaming when the alleged rape was happening. Why? I don't believe those accusations, Paulus further said. Meanwhile, Paulus' son also defended himself, saying he has a calling as a prophet who tells people about what is happening in their lives. He would prophesy our lives and he would tell the truth, Miss Paulus said. The pastor, who briefly spoke to Namibian son before being whisked away by the police, also denied the rape allegations. This is what he said. I did not run away. I also did not commit the crime, he said before climbing into the police van. After the break, we return with Community Talk. Stay with us.
Connection. It's in the human touch, the feeling of belonging. It inspires us and empowers us, creates clarity from complexity. It starts new conversations, unlocks the power of advice, and makes an impact on your life. At Alex Forbes, we pioneer insight to provide you with advice that connects your decisions of today to your impact tomorrow.
The Deputy Director for the Directorate of Disaster Risk Management within the Office of the Prime Minister, Flori Ashipala, says that disasters do not unilaterally affect Namibians. Marginalized and impoverished communities suffer a greater loss by disaster. He noted this morning at a celebration commemorating the International Day for International Day for Disaster Risk and Management. Have a look.
Support from all local governments in advancing disaster risk management projects and programs, including the Commodity Beneficial Management Information System, also known as CBIMS, which is currently being rolled out by the Office of the Prime Minister in close collaboration with regional councils. This is a transformational system which aims to automate government response to disasters by issuing voucher cards to identified beneficiaries in order to redeem their relief food items at local retailers. The system comes with multiple benefits, including that of stimulating local markets and economies, and undoubtedly contributing towards government efforts of improving service delivery, as outlined in the e-governance policy.
After the break, we return with entertainment news. Stay with us. MultiChoice Namibia today launched Phase 2 of its local content film project dubbed Ombura. This phase will include 6 feature films, 1 documentary and 1 lifestyle show, each showcasing a unique and authentic perspective of Namibia, its culture, the people and the way of life. In this new phase, all productions will be made with a focus on Africans and will premiere on CakeNet on the channel on CakeNet on DSTV and GoTV. Moving over to our next story, in some sad news, fans, filmmakers and industry watchers are mourning the loss of veteran actor John Okafor, famously known as Master Ibo. Okafor, who had been battling illness since 2023, passed away from cardiac arrest at the age of 62 on Saturday at Evercare Hospital in Lekki, Lagos State. President Bola Tinubu and other prominent Nigerians joined the industry stakeholders in mourning the beloved actor. Despite the sadness, fans and colleagues celebrated Okafor's contribution to Nigerian cinema. Many shared cherished memories of the comic actor on social media, highlighting his irreplaceable role in the entertainment industry. Now blessing Ebich Sen, national president of the Association of Movie Producers, expressed deep sorrow over the loss but praised Okafor's resilience. Emma Eaba emphasized Okafor's significant impact on Nollywood's growth. Okafor's passing prompted an outpouring of grief on social media, with fans remembering about his iconic performances. Born on the 17th of October 1961 in Enugu State, Okafor appeared in over 200 Nollywood films, including the renowned Master Ibu series. After the break, we return with economic news. Stay with us. In economic news tonight, locally listed Parates Namibia Holding expects revenues for 6 months ended on the 31st of December 2023 to be between 10% and 30% higher than the same half year in 2022. Headline earnings per ordinary share are a profitably gauge are anticipated to be more than 30% higher than the same 6 months in 2022. Parates said in a trading statement on the Namibia Stock Exchange this morning. Basic earnings per ordinary share are also expected to be more than 30% higher. The main reason for the increase in the HEPS and the BEPS is due to increase in profitability emanating from the growth in revenue and the containment of operating expenses, Parates said. Further, earnings before interest, tax, depreciated and amortization for the period is anticipated to be more than 30% higher too. Parates' latest interim result is expected this week. Now let's have a look at our economic indicators. The Namibian dollar trades for 23 Namibian dollars 90 cents to 1 British pound, 20 Namibian dollars 48 cents to 1 euro, 18 Namibian dollars 82 cents to 1 US dollar. All commodities have increased, gold with 0.065%, platinum with 2.33%, copper with 1.30%, Brent crude oil with 1.53%. International news coming up after the break.
We are all seeking connection to each other, to the world, to the spaces we exist in.
Poor sportsmanship right now from the lads.
You might be physically ready, your body is ready, but mentally.
Here's another chance, and it is a goal from Vindo Kahana.
Hy sê wie is er aan neergetrek en daai bal het my grond gevat. Ja, hy het grond gevat en is
But just enough next.
Running that mountain up. Okay, so we will be doing this for the mountain climber. More advanced, slightly advanced.
So is jou trolley reg? Want
I love it. I love it. So then
kickstart our countdown at number 5 with this one.
Op Netwerk TV se Klets Kompas gesels ons nuus van 'n Maandag tot Donderdag. Ons kyk ook na die weer en meer. Stories wat jou raak en stories wat saak maak.
They've made a mistake in denying me bail, and they've made several other mistakes in many other cases.
The channels that teach us something new or reflect our expression. So it goes beyond switching to the right station. It's about choosing the experience that can adorn the present, dressing it with our tastes as we expand our preferences, because what we are actually connecting to is boundless, limitless human energy. And this is the spirit of NTV.
Russia has said it does not recognize the arrest warrant issued by the International Criminal Court for 2 top Russian commanders over alleged war crimes in Ukraine. The court named Sergei Kobylash and Viktor Sokolov on Tuesday. "We are not parties to that law. We do not recognize this," Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov said. This is the second time warrants have been issued for Russians over the war in Ukraine. Speaking to reporters on Wednesday, Mr. Peskov said, "This is not the first decision. We also know that there are various close processes going on there which are kept a secret, and we treat such decisions accordingly." Master Peskov said that the fact that Russia was not a signatory to the Rome Law, the international treaty which created the ICC, meant Russia did not recognize the warrants. It is unlikely Russian nationals will be extradited to face charges. In a statement on Tuesday, the ICC said the latest warrants were issued because there were reasonable grounds to believe that the 2 suspects were responsible for missile strikes carried out by forces under their command against Ukrainian electric infrastructure. The alleged crimes took place between October 2022 and March 2023, the ICC said. The court said that the attacks caused civilians harms and damage that would have been clearly excessive to any military advantage. The 2 men are each allegedly responsible for the war crime for directing attacks at civilians and objects, and are also accused of the crime against humanity of an inhumane act, the court said. Master Kobylash, who is 58, was a commander of a long-range aviation for the Russian Air Force at the time of the alleged crime. Master Sokolov, who is 61, was an admiral in the Russian Navy who commanded the Black Sea Fleet during the period to which the charges relate, according to the ICC. Last month, it was reported that he was dismissed after a series of successful Ukrainian drone attacks against Russian warships. However, his resignation has not been officially confirmed. The two officers have not publicly commented on the issue. Moving over to our next story. South Africa's Minister of International Relations, Naledi Pandor, on Tuesday said that countries should use force to break Israel's blockade on aid getting into Gaza. Pandor was meeting with his Danish counterpart in Pretoria. The two leaders discussed bilateral ties and Israel's war on Gaza. Those powerful armed forces of the world should be instructed by their president or prime ministers that they will go to the Rafah border and their soldiers will escort all those trucks into Gaza and the West Bank. And since they are very close friends of Israel, surely they will be allowed safe passage. I can't imagine being fired upon the Israeli forces, said Ms. Pandor. In a case where South Africa accuses Israel of committing genocide in Gaza, the International Court of Justice issued a series of provisional orders on civilian protection and deliveries of humanitarian assistance, which have been ignored by Tel Aviv. More than 576,000 people in Gaza, a quarter of the population, are on the brink of famine, according to the UN. Israel has been accused of targeting aid deliveries in recent days, killing hundreds of desperate Palestinians. Now let's have a look at the weather forecast shortly after the break. Katima Mulilo can expect a minimum of 20 degrees, Rundu 20 degrees, and Enana 20 degrees, while Tsumeb can expect a maximum of 37 degrees. Hentis Bay and Foulfish Bay can expect a minimum of 16 degrees, while Lüderitz and Oranjemund can expect a minimum of 15 degrees. Oranjemund can expect a maximum of 25 degrees, as well as Foulfish Bay. After the break, we return with a sports package courtesy of Sports Rep.
Good day everyone, time for international sports news, starting off with English Premier League football action. Arsenal having a away game against Sheffield United, but Arsenal came away comfortable winners 6-0, and that is to move within 2 points of the log leaders Liverpool. That is after 27 games have been played in the season so far. It was Arsenal that was close to unstoppable in the first half. They scored 5 goals within the first 39 minutes, and in the end won comfortably by 6-0. The log at the moment is Liverpool leading after 27 games on 63 points, then followed 1 point back on 62 points by Manchester City, followed by Arsenal on 61 points. Quite close to the top 3 at the moment, and it is in 4th position Aston Villa on 55 points, a little bit down on the list. So the winner of this year's English Premier League most likely to come from either Liverpool, Manchester City or Arsenal. This coming weekend, a very important game for the log leaders and the team in second place. It is Liverpool that will host Manchester City, and that game will be played on Sunday, and that game will be played at Anfield at Liverpool's home ground. Moving on to rugby news, it is the Six Nations rugby tournament that continues, the best 6 teams in Europe that continue on this weekend. 3 games have been played, and this coming weekend it will be log leaders Ireland that will play England. That's a away game for them. They travel to London to play at Twickenham. Then also Wales, they at home to France, and then it will be Italy that will host Scotland. At the moment, after 3 games, it is Ireland comfortably ahead. They've got 15 league points, followed by Scotland on 9. Then it is England on 8 and France on 6 points. That's the top 4 at the moment. And also team news from Scotland is that they recalled the lock Marcel Sykes, and he haven't played for Scotland for the last 2 years, so he's back in the squad, just 24 years old, and he plays for the Edinburgh club. And to conclude today's international sports news, it is cycling news. It is the well-known Paris to Nice cycle tour that started. It was stage 2. It was the stage 2. It was a sprint to the line in the end, won by Arvid de Klein. He is from the Netherlands, and he won it in a tight sprint with Lawrence Pitchie of Australia in second position. It was the biggest win of his career, that is de Klein's career, and he upset many of the big-name sprinters in the sprint to the line. In the general classifications, it is Lawrence Pitchie after finishing second in the stage. He's now the yellow jersey holder, and he's followed by Mats Peterson, and also a little bit down in fifth position is Remco Evenepoel, one of the early favourites. So stage 3 that will continue with the Paris-Nice will be a time trial. That will be a team time trial, and it will be in Auxerre, and it will be 26.9 kilometers long. That's international sports news for today. Hope you have a great sport day, and we talk international sport again tomorrow. Goodbye.
Thank you very much for watching our show tonight. We will be back tomorrow, same time, same place. Good night.